Hello again. All right, multiplying decimals. It's going to be one page of notes. Don't forget, you can pause or fast forward or rewind the video at any point. Here is your page. Feel free to pause it right now and write all this down. You're probably wondering why there is something that looks like a door over there on the top left. I will explain that later. You can also zoom in as you need to. We've got multiplying decimals. There's a door over there with a sticky note on it. It says feed the dog. Multiplying decimals, 203 times 18 is one of the problems, the first one. And then 20 3/10 times, which I did not put the multiplying sign, times 1800ths. And then two more examples down here, 7/10 times a negative 800ths. And number 2 is negative 3 300ths times a negative 3/10. Get those written, and then we will continue. All right, so let's first do this problem right here. 203 times 18. It's just multiplication, okay? Remember, you multiply and carry and add, and you got to try to be neat, okay? I know as middle schoolers, sometimes we're a little messy, but we got to try to be neat here. All right, so 8 times 3 is 24. Carry that 2. Now 8 times 0 is 0, plus the 2 is 2. I'm going to mark that 2 out so I don't accidentally use it again. And then 8 times 2 is 16. I'm going to use that whole amount. I am now going to do this. That's a little too large though. I'm going to do this because I have completed that place. And now I'm going to put a holder down there, right? A placeholder. What is a placeholder? Really, that just means that we've already multiplied that place value. And so we have to actually hold it. We have to make sure we don't put anything there. It's like holding a spot for somebody in, it's like holding a chair for somebody in church or something. It's like putting your purse or your pen or hat or something on a chair. Somebody sits there. That's what that is. You're holding the place for something. All right, and then so we go to the tens place. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 0 is 0. And 1 times 2 is 2. Now we have to combine both products. 4 plus 0 is 4. 3 plus 2 is 6. Whoa, it's not 5. There we go. 6 plus 0 is 6. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So 203 times 18 is 3,654. Okay? Let's go over here and look at this. We're going to end up with the exact same numbers in our multiplication. Okay? However, there are some decimals. That changes one little thing. And that's it. Okay? So I'll tell you a little story. We have a dog at my house. His name is Boomer. He's a black lab. He is laying down over there in the corner. So one of our kids was supposed to feed him like on a random Thursday, okay? And that child forgot. So on Friday, the next day, I put a sticky note on the door, which is right over there, right in the middle, near the handle, that said, feed the dog. Well, what are sticky notes used for? To remind people of things so we don't forget. Okay? So we are going to use a sticky note, and I like to call it feed the dog with the decimals. Okay? Here is our problem. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see how many decimal places there are in each number. Okay? So if you look at 20.3, now, as a teacher, I'm supposed to say 20 3/10 because that's what it is. But it's also 20.3. So how many values are there after the decimal? Right there. There's 1. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a sticky note over here to the right of 1. Okay? That is to remind me that there is one decimal place value in that number. Okay? Then we're going to go down to the second one, and we're not going to highlight it every time. This is just for the first one. And there are 1, 2. Okay, so I'm going to write myself a little sticky note right there, so that I remember once I do my multiplying how many place values there are after the decimal. Well, how many places are there after the decimal in total? In total, there are 3. Okay, so I would actually add those place values up. I know 1 plus 2 is a very difficult problem. There are 3. Okay, and I can just write it wherever, right there. Okay, that's my total amount of place values after the decimal. So then we would just multiply as normal, exactly like we did the first problem. No different. Don't look at the decimals. Don't do anything. Just do normal multiplication. The only thing you can't do is forget about your sticky note. Okay? So if you've got to like make it, you know, need to like put an alarm on it or something so you don't forget. Now it's really sticking out my eyes. Okay? So we would do this whole problem and we would end up with the exact same thing. 1,624, and then we would have 2,000, let me see here, 200, or 2,030. Then we would add those up, and it would be 3,654. Here's the reason for the sticky note. Feed the dog. Okay? It came out of this one once. It came out of that one twice. You combine those together. Now we got to feed the dog. How many times? 3 times. Our dog's going to be fat because we're going to feed him 3 times. Okay? So I'm going to go on the outside of 3,654, the end of it, and I'm going to go once, twice, 3 times, and the answer is 3, and the decimal has a name, and 654 thousandths. Okay? All you have to do is multiply and feed the dog. That's it. All right, so let's go look at these 2 down here. Notice there's negatives. We already know our rules for multiplying and dividing integers. Okay? So, and if for a little reminder, this is a positive times a negative, right? So if I did, that's a hideous face right there. So if I did this, a positive times a negative, looks like they got punched in the eye. So it's going to have a negative attitude and probably feel a little sad. Okay? So these are small values. It's just a 7 and an 8, right? So let's look at it first as what's it going to be? It's going to be a negative answer. Negative answer. How many place values do I have in the first one? In the first 7/10? I have 1. And then in the second one, how many do I have? I have 1, 2. I got 2. How many do I have total? I have 3. That's my reminder to feed the dog. Okay? So it's really just 8 times 7. 8 times 7, and by the way, I'm not good with my 8s or my 7s. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 more is 56. So it is a negative, a little, whatever you call this thing, it's falling apart. It is a negative 56. Feed the dog. How many times? 3 times. Okay, so we're going to start at the end. I'm going to go 1, 2. But wait a second. Can I put another one? Yes. You got to put 3. 3. And there's my decimal. So now we have this blank space. What do we put there? I bet you already know. A 0. 0. So the answer is negative 56 thousandths. Okay? All right, let's look at this one. we have negative 3 3/100 times negative 3/10. Okay? Check, see how many place values we have. 1, 2, sticky note, 1, sticky note. Combine those. At the very end, we have to feed our dog 3 times. Feed the dog. Feed him. For those of you that go to a different school and are watching these videos, when you see me out in HEB, don't tell your parents that, hey, that's the teacher that does weird stuff on videos. Feed the dog. All right. So we have a negative times a negative. That equals a positive. So our answer is going to be positive. So let's not mess with the negatives, and we don't have to mess with the decimals because we already know how many times we're going to put it in. We do not need that guy right there. So really all we have to do is this is 303. And this is 3. We got to multiply that. 303 times 3. I could probably do that in my head, but I don't really want to. So 303 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 3 is 9. 909. I'm done. No, I'm not. Feed the dog. 3 times. Starting at the end. 1, 2, 3. So the answer is 909 thousandths. Okay? I hope this helped you, and I'll see you next time on the assignment help video.